Now is not the age when we tell him that boys don't cry and only girls cry. We don't do all that. Okay, we let him
Is there
cry.
any age to tell that?
No, I think there's no age to tell that. You go and hit my brother. You go and hit him now.
Hit him.
Hit him. How to make him regulate his emotions? That's
So
the
what
thing.
happened after 30 minutes?
After 30 minutes he was calm. Otherwise, वो रोना वोना सब बंद हो जाता है. कुछ बाहर निकल के नहीं आता है. So I make him cry. It's okay if he cries.
You asked, you want your child to have empathy. You want your child to have less. To cry for a couple of minutes and then be okay. Happiness is as important as emotion as any of the other emotions in the world. Overcoming frustration leads to happiness. Are you really happy right now? The answer to this is going to come out to be a no. It is a false question. We can help the child be more aware about the world so that they can process it better. Autistic children can have wonderful lives. But yes, the parent will have to spend more time and effort in helping them have a more healthier, normal life.
2 sons. My elder one is 5 years old. And the major problem that we have is emotional regulation. He is a little more sensitive. He is more emotional. Now is not the age when we tell him that boys don't cry and only girls cry. We don't do all that. Okay, we let him
Is there
cry.
any age to tell that?
No, I think there's no age to tell that.
Yes.
You're right about that. Yesterday, I'll tell you an incident. He went out to meet his cousin. He loves his cousin and he lives close by. So we told him, chalo, Friday night, hai, you'll get some extra playtime with your cousin. But his cousin had to go to some class. So वो 10 मिनट में बोला कि मुझे क्लास में जाना है, now you have to go back home. And this guy was really emotional. He was devastated. मुझे playtime नहीं मिला मेरे भाई के साथ. And he started crying and for half an hour he is going on about it. You go and hit my brother. You go and hit him now.
Hit him.
Hit him. कि उसने मेरे साथ क्यों नहीं खेला. So he is crying, he's shouting, we are there, both of us were there, to manage, we understand. How to make him regulate his emotions. That's
So
the
what
thing.
happened after 30 minutes?
After 30 minutes he was calm. थोड़ा खाना वाना दिया उसको, थोड़ा junk food दिया तो थोड़ा settle हो गया. So for me my strict rule is कि इस time पे no screens. Otherwise, वो रोना वोना सब बंद हो जाता है and his everything वो कुछ बाहर निकल के नहीं आता है. So I make him cry. It's okay if he cries.
Just to reframe this, it's more about helping him regulate or handle his emotion, his wide range of emotions, because our younger one doesn't have that same range, right? Because the elder one right now has shown that he's very sensitive. We just want to help him. The pain that he goes through because of his sensitivity, we're a little afraid that might, dull his sensitivity. If we're able to help him at this age, that disappointment reduces. The child remains that empathetic, sensitive person to the world, but going on for half an hour, right, it causes a lot of anguish to him. At the same time, it's about how do we help him in this kind of a scenario.
Sure. So, I find this interesting. You asked, you want your child to have empathy. You want your child to have less. I'm saying, I know what you're saying. I'm just saying, there is a parent. Let's take another kid. Okay, he wants to play with his cousin. The cousin goes, the guy's like, whatever. I'll play on my own. I don't care. And the parent is really worried. अरे इसको तो लगा भी नहीं है. भाई से प्यार ही नहीं है. And then you are there saying he's crying for 30 minutes. This is not okay. Correct? We want this to change. And I know you're coming from a very nice place. You're putting it correctly. Like we want our child to cry for a couple of minutes and then be okay. Correct? So, do you think frustration in life is important? Right? Yes. Frustration, I think, is one of the most important emotions to have and to be able to overcome. All of us want our child to be happy. And I think this is a very bullshit thing. Happiness is as important as emotion as any of the other emotions in the world. Overcoming frustration leads to happiness. Being happy doesn't need to. The moment you say I want to be happy, you're actually sad. I'm saying, if you ask anybody, if I ask you, are you happy? The answer to this is going to come out to be a no. It is a false question. It is a trick question. If you ask, am I happy? I'm not so happy. So I must be sad. It is not true. We can't be happy and joyful all the time. It is one of the many emotions that we feel. And frustration and overcoming it It's an important thing. And giving our children the time and space to develop the ability to overcome frustration is important. We do that by allowing them to do things, by allowing them to fail and redo. A child overcomes 1.5 year of frustration to learn to walk. मतलब walk करना आता ही नहीं मुझे walk करना सीखना है. But I'm not able to sit, forget walking. The child will sit, boom, पीछे गिर गया, ठीक है ना? Then again, keep doing for 2 months. First it tries to roll, ठीक है ना? Then I'm saying it takes 1.5 year of overcoming frustration to learn to walk. The child has the ability. We have to give the child the time and space. In your case, yes, all of us come with a different wiring. It could be because either of you was more sensitive as a child. Maybe he also has that wiring. If with such a child, I would tell them a little more about the world, about what can happen. That we are going, your cousin has to go for, if you knew this information, right? You did not, I know you did not. But I'm just saying, we can help the child be more aware about the world so that they can process it better. And then if this episode happens, be there. Explain करते रहेंगे तो क्या ही होगा? कुछ नहीं होगा. I'm saying even with a 5-year-old, explanations don't work. You could say, let me read a book to you. Just slightly better than junk food. Yeah. That generally works because the child missed a connection. We can offer another connection, and that could help. Let's say I have a autistic child. Then no matter what I do, something is going to remain. Autistic children can have wonderful lives. But yes, the parent will have to spend more time and effort in helping them have a more healthier, normal life. That is true. Similarly, all children have different wiring. If your child is more sensitive by wiring, the answer remains the same, which is you are present, you are offering connection, the child रोएगा, फिर calm down होएगा, and then if the child is able to do that, इस बार 30 मिनट में हुआ है, फिर 25 में होगा, फिर 20 में होगा, फिर 15 में होगा, फिर 5 में होगा, hopefully आपका आइडियल चाइल्ड 2-2.5 मिनट पे पहुंच जाएगा. ठीक है ना? कभी कभी हमको लगता है कि हमने कर लिया एज अ पेरेंट इतनी मेहनत करके, वो पता लगता है कि यार कुछ भी ना करते हैं वो बच्चा बड़े होके अपने आप ही ठीक हो जाता है, राइट? सो वी डोंट नो, बट आई थिंक दैट इज ऑल. आई थिंक यू आर ऑलरेडी डूइंग व्हाट यू आर डूइंग ऑलरेडी इज ग्रेट. ओके.